Alright. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Today we are casting Group A, the Rongyi Cup. We're going to split this into two videos because this is 5 best of 3s GSL format. We're going to find out who progresses out of ByuN, Trigger, HerO, and Rogue. It is a 21,500 USD tournament. Basically, it's a big tournament. It's online. The grand finals is going to be played in LAN. Top 2 players from this group will go through the group stages. Let's get going. Alright, guys. Into the big boys. HerO in the bottom right, Rogue in the top left. And is HerO going to continue his streak of awesomeness? Of course, fresh off of winning the Thunderfire Invitational over in China. He went there with his wife. He said, hey, when I travel to tournaments now, it's a win-win. Because if I lose early, I get to spend more time exploring the local city with my wife. We get to spend some time traveling around and enjoying different parts of the world. Well, sucks to be HerO's wife. Instead, she had to cheer for him as he decided to win a trophy. He's, of course, coming to this looking very good. Rogue, funnily enough, was playing not in the main tournament. He didn't get invited. He got invited to play a show match. Oh, sorry, we did have sound on. Thought that was quiet there. He got to play a show match against Oliveira, which was really cool because I was like, oh, maybe Oliveira's been practicing for like 3-4 months, playing a lot. Oliveira looked decent at StarCraft. Rogue still looked like Rogue. Rogue basically... he praying mantis to him. Oliveira was like, are you ready to mate? And he just like ripped his head off and like ate it basically and then planted babies in his corpse. It was so one-sided. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, Oliveira's been retired for a while and Rogue is Rogue. So we don't know too much about Rogue's form other than that Oliveira was no match for him. I didn't end up putting up a lot of the show matches from that tournament because they were all so one-sided. We did put up the SOS Scarlet, which our lovely editor put up as Scarlet Innovation, which was a funny misclick there. Sorry about that one. I think we fixed that now. Stargate starting up in the back. Hidden in the back. I do like the Stargate hidden in the back. HerO used this at Thunderfire as well. Just can hide a quick Twilight off this. So if you want to do like one Oracle into Glaive Adepts, very hard to scout that Twilight in the back. Third hatchery is going to go down for Rogue. He's gone Ling Speed, third queen, into third hatchery. Overlord starts after that. We should see a few drones now. And you'll see the Overlord pops just after these lava injects do, allowing you to plow out the drones. But pretty passive for HerO. Just one adept coming across early. And Void Ray for scouting denial. He's been loving his scouting denial. I always have mixed feelings about it. Sometimes it looks great. Sometimes it looks awful. I think for most players, the Void Ray opening is pretty bad. But when you're as dynamic and as unpredictable as HerO, it scares the heck out of Zergs. We've seen players like Raynor, other players panic because they go, oh, what's he doing? You know, they want to get in there with the Overlord, but the Void Ray denies it. Overlord's hiding right on the edge, though. Hopefully the Void Ray does find it for HerO's sake. That Overlord sneaks by. Could be pretty good. Where is Oliveira these days? So Oliveira's been retired for a while. I think he did say if EWC got announced again, he was considering coming back, since it's kind of a big deal that the Chinese server is relaunched for StarCraft 2. And you know, they're hosting some awesome tournaments. Thunderfire Invitational was massive. This tournament's going on. I've you know, hoping that there's more stuff coming out of China. I mean, Shaoxi and F91 have just been awesome hosts of the scene. Them and the entire WTL organization that did World Team League for many years have been kind of behind running these big shows, and they're really awesome. Evo Chambers on the way, so it's going to be a melee opening for Rogue. Rogue is weak to Glaive Adepts because he loves those early melee openings, but this looks like a Blink build, right? It's like Twilight Forge. Actually, he did go Twilight and Forge before 3rd and 4th gas. HerO's build orders are super random, so we can't read too much into that. But if it was any other Protoss player, I'd say that means he's going to go Charge first. And he's been using a lot of Charge recently. Blink or Charge, the moment of truth. There's +1 first, as that takes longer to upgrade. Yeah. And it's going to be +1 Charge. Into 4 gateways. Hello. Rogue does not have a lair started until now at about 450. Got 3 mineral lines up, so it looks like a quick 4th base. And then no doubt he'll be taking some more gases. He wants to go straight to Hydra Bane. But no Baneling Nest just yet. Which means the Zealot pressure could be powerful. There's no Robo. Okay, HerO's build is looking a little bit confusing, guys. Oracles are going to fly in. No Spore Crawler and no Drone Pull Away. Oh, he goes back for more. 3 drones. Does take a bit of damage, though. Guys, what is this build? Overlord sees that it's a charge opening because he sees the early Templar Archives. He knows this is charged. That Stalker's not going to fake him out at all. I mean, it looks like HerO's just going to do an 8-gate Zealot Archon, but he doesn't have a Prism. Is he just going to run across the map with 2 Archons and warp in Zealots? You need a Baneling Nest to defend this, I think. Cancels a gas. Makes a Baneling Nest. I'm not sure what he cancelled there to build that Baneling Nest, guys. Hydroden should be going down as quickly as possible. He's only on 5 gases. Is Rogue. And I think he wisely is going to stop droning here. And just try to make Lings, Banes, Hydras. Because this is a pretty short-term play. Also, keep in mind, Rogue hasn't seen the gases on the 3rd. Which is actually a bit of a hole in his scouting. Scouting those gases really tells you a lot about just how hard the Protoss might be committing to their attack. And Rogue, he's got a good ring of vision. He's going to need to gather up at home. He's building Massling Bane. He needs Groove Spines and Hydras right now. Oracle just went down. Oracle was trying to do a stasis trap. It dies. Other Oracle goes forward to scout. 8 Hydras. Groove Spines on the way. Archon Zealot's about to move out. This is the most half-baked attack I've seen in a while from HerO. But Rogue has been massing Zerglings so greedily. Might just be caught off guard. He's going to try and do a little bit of a Baneling waddle into this mineral line. Cannon's on the wrong side. Could work out nicely. I think he's going to have just enough Hydra Bane to defend his 4th. And if Rogue can defend his 4th and drone up, he's in a good spot. Storm is on the way as well as +2 behind this. Bane's going to roll in from that right side. Can they get in the mineral line? Yes, they can. Oh, juicy. Should have detonated those. Wow, Ling's going to get on top of the Archon as well. But that means he's leaving himself a bit undefended at home. To counterattack in this scenario is crazy. These Hydras need to stutter step. Let the Queens die. Yeah, but he's going to hold. Dude, Rogue. What a commitment. That was so brave. Against the Zealot Archon pressure like that, that's quite committed. You don't usually want to send any units on the other side. You just want to focus on defending. But he both defends very cleanly. And, I mean, what's that? 3 drones, that's fine. He's going to drone up. He's got his 4th, double gases. But interestingly, Infestation Pit, I thought he'd just play a Hydra Bane and just say, you can never get a 4th. But he's actually going to go for a Lurker Tech up. HerO's going to try and maintain map control. Still no sign of Robotech. It's just Storms, Zealots, Archons, which means he's got to keep map control. He's got to keep the pressure on Rogue and try to force some mistakes because there's not a lot of longevity to this style. If he can push into a choke point, he can like get really good Storm positioning. And honestly, he should be warping in more High Templar and recharging them. That one, I think, got recharged. Couple of Void Rays for the pickoffs. Hydraling Bane is in. Muscular Augment's not quite done just yet. First Storm doesn't kill anything. Just damages a few Banes. A lot more Banes are morphing. A couple of Overlords do get picked off. Nice moves there for HerO, and HerO wisely falling back. Robo's finally here. Hive does start for Rogue. Rogue's got a good economy advantage, but I think he's also got an opportunity here. Oh my gosh. He's clumping. Rogue clumps himself up way too much there. Oh, but he gets good Baneling hits. I think it's okay. I really think he should be coming at this from 2 sides. No Bane speed. He's just trying to use the Banes purely defensively against the Zealot mass, but no chance of really wrapping them around onto the High Templar. I think Rogue, those could have maybe jumped on that. That army was way overcommitted, but Rogue is playing a bit afraid right now. He's making a lot more Zerglings and Banelings. He's only got 13 Hydras. That's not a massive amount. He's got double Evo and Bane speed. I mean, Rogue's like progression to a proper meaty late game ground army is good, but I worry that he might be giving HerO a bit too much time. HerO's got a 4th coming up finally. And the economy advantage is really good for Zerg though. I think at this point, if Rogue could loop some more units around, whether a Bane run by or 30 Zerglings to cancel that hatchery, either could be good. He's going to do it now, but it's revelated. It's revelated. That's not a secret. He sees it. He sees it. And the Zealots are going to work their way around the north. Hydra Bane. Dude, if Rogue just runs into the Banes, this is really bad for HerO. HerO does not commit in. Wisely pulls back. Zergling's going to go for the Nexus. He's got +1 melee. I think he can maybe target it down. It's going to be tight. Those Zealots with +2. Going to clean it up. Storms come forward. Good Hydra Bane spready. Oh, the Banes get some juicies. But slow Banes still. They're not able to get through the Archons. The Storm's doing well. The Hydra's getting cleansed. Where's Rogue's Hydra account? It all gets blitzed down. The hatchery gets killed. Rogue. He doesn't quite make it to Lurkies. He doesn't quite make it to Bane speed. He's a bit too heavy on the Zergling Baneling. The counterattack doesn't get the Nexus. And HerO with just Storm, Archons, and like I said, it's that forward positioning. He gets in your face, and he forces you into a bad position, and if you clump up in the choke point, he will take advantage. HerO, this is something that only he pulls. No other Protoss player does this. Fuck, I misclicked close the replay, guys. That was a misclick. I want to show you guys what he did, because that's crazy. I gotta fast forward the replay. Sorry. Give us 1 minute. 1 minute. It'll take us 1 minute to fast forward that game. It was pretty quick. Don't know why. In my head, someone named Oliveira lives a life like hedonism bot from Futurama and talks like himself as well. Oh, yes. It's the Brazilian lifestyle. Pleasure comes first, man. Of course, Oliveira in StarCraft is Chinese, but inspired by Charles Oliveira, former lightweight UFC champion. Time was his name for many years before that, of course. I ate toss the last few years. Too OP, says On Gear. Yeah. It's always hard to play against Protoss in StarCraft too. I will agree with that. All right, so this is the point where I really feel HerO gets away with murder at these stages of the game. I do think Rogue should have committed to fooling Bane Hydra. I do think if he committed to that, this sort of move gets punished so hard. There's no way HerO ever gets a 4th base. You can still go to Lurkers behind it. What I'm looking for is earlier Muscular Augments, which he delayed upgrading, and earlier Bane speed. And I think, you know, this sort of push out is just so dangerous, man. Like, if he comes around with just like 7 Hydras, some Lingbane from the right, or even loops all the way around from behind, and look, he comes back. He goes on creep again. Like, HerO's army is so vulnerable. Because there's not that many Archons and Storms yet. Banes can clear the Zealots so easily. And yet Rogue kind of gets bullied a little bit here. Pushed back. I think he should never have been so afraid of that. I think he should have still been looping around there and punishing the fact that HerO went this deep. But HerO is a guy who often, I always say, he rears up on his hinds leg, he frills out his neck fan, and he kind of just goes, "Rrr." I don't know if you guys have ever watched a lot of nature documentaries. Maybe you don't get that. There's a lot of animals in nature where their defense mechanism is basically just look big, puff your chest out, look kind of scary. And the predator's like, oh, that guy's like scary. He wants to fight. It's the equivalent of, you guys know, if you're ever in an altercation that looks like it's about to escalate, the best thing you can do is if you whip your shirt off in one smooth moment and you go, yeah, let's go. Your opponent knows you've been in so many street fights. You have mastered pulling your shirt off in like 0.1 of a second. And they're like, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy's really good at fighting. Look how quickly he took his shirt off. They're going to run the other way, man. It's like an instant victory. Confirmation that HerO is the actual StarCraft embodiment of a guy who takes his shirt off really quickly to show how cool he is before getting in a punch on the street. Honestly, I just don't think he should be able to pressure this hard. Ends up delaying the Lurker transition and picking off quite a few units here for you know, surprisingly good trades with no Storm to back it up. He's kind of screwed, man. His 4th is so late. I really think the Hydra Bane commitment should have been the way to go. I understand Rogue wanted to go to Lurkers because you can get stuck on Hydra Bane against a guy with good Storm energy banking. I think if the Protoss doesn't have a 4th, Hydra Bane, you can tech to Lurkers behind it, but you're going to have so many good ways to wrap around their army, to split your army and smash into this base, to deny this 4th if they push on the maps around them. I think that's what Rogue was missing here. All right, guys. HerO up here in the top right side of the map. Rogue in the bottom left. Let that one slip away, but he's got a big map now to work. And if there was ever a map to go sneaky Mutalisks, this is it. But these charge builds of HerO, these in-your-face Zealot pushes, they've been causing so much trouble. Rogue had the perfect counter to the opening, and then he just is trying to go double Evo, Hive, Lurker Den, 80 drone, 8 gases, and skip Bane speed. And that was just a bit too much. I think he let HerO pick off too many units way too efficiently early on, which was a bit unnecessary. Hero doing his classic no scout build, guys. He's up a game, so why not? I've always pointed out he should have 16 on minerals and just 2 on gas for this stage, because you really don't need, with the gas first no scout, to have 3 guys on gas this early. You're going to have so much gas. You'll notice that the Cybercore's just now started, but actually it could have been a little bit faster if you had 16 on minerals, the Nexus and then the Cybercore. And that would allow you to actually get the Stargate earlier. Because you're doing a gas first, you have an extra worker this whole time. As long as you get 2 workers on gas as quickly as possible, that's what matters. Pig, is there still 2 players called HerO? I think Liquid HerO retired like 12, 13, 14 years ago. I don't know. When did Liquid HerO retire, guys? Like 2014? Heart of the Swarm sometime? I know he played a bit longer, where his results had kind of fallen off a cliff. He wasn't really able to perform very well in Heart of the Swarm, I don't think. But Liquid HerO was so exciting in Wings of Liberty, man. He was the original, I'm going to micro 2 warp prisms. Everything he did was like flashy, multitasking, micro, very cool plays. I mean, he was always an absolute pleasure to watch. Of course, Liquid HerO was the guy who, he was so nervous, he would be chain smoking cigarettes and taking beta blockers. Literally like blood pressure medication to try and keep himself calm at tournaments, and he still looked like a nervous wreck. I always thought I was really bad at staying calm while competing, but whenever I'd look at Liquid HerO, I'd be like, damn, I'm like a stoic friggin' golem compared to this man. But this hero played for CJ Entus and then Jin Air Green Wings, right, for many years. Right, was he on Jin Air? Maru and Rogue were on Jin Air. I think HerO was just on CJ. He's now on T1. But yeah, this guy, Smiling Assassin, in early Heart of the Swarm, HerO started winning tournaments, winning IEMs. The Prince of IEM, he won a bunch of IEM tournaments. Very good in Heart of the Swarm. But he's been the best Protoss for the last few years. Really, really making a name for himself. Okay, so Void Ray is coming out. Now, Rogue had such a good start in that last game, but just didn't grab control of the match. And I think the way he played could have worked. He just needed to be a bit more technical with his like Hydra surrounds on those forward pressures from HerO. But it's just easier if you go Hydra Bane, I think, and surround HerO's army whenever he's on the map. Roll Lings and Banes into his 3rd constantly. Don't ever let him get a 4th base while you take a 5th. Void Ray will find an Overlord snipe. I don't think you play melee again. And you might be wondering, why is he transferring so many? Oh my gosh. Oh, Rogue, what are we doing, Rogue? Rogue! He just built an Evo blocking his entire drone transfer. Now, the reason he transfers all at once is so the queens can guard it. You don't want drones constantly transferring one at a time. The Evo should always start on the outside first, not the inside. But he's going to go melee again. Problem with that is the Glaive Adept timing could wreck him. Luckily for him, there's no Glaive Adept timing. It is just going to be quick 4 gas into Twilight Forge, which is standard for blink play. It doesn't have to be blink play. Definitely looks a bit more indicative of that. No, Liquid HerO was one of the most famous players in the early first few years. I don't think he ever won like a massive tournament, but he was a big fan favorite because he was so fun to watch. He was always a stylish player, but I don't think he could compete as the game got a bit more refined in how everyone played, because he was... I don't think HerO was like super tight on his build orders necessarily. I think like he was all flair and not as much substance to his build order knowledge and stuff. Those players can be very good early on, make the game chaotic and rely on pure instincts, but once players start refining their responses to all the different situations, you see their success start to fall, and you really got to evolve in real-time strategy games as they go forwards. It's very hard to keep up otherwise. Forward 4th base. He has got a Roach Warren ready to wall off and build roaches if there's Glaive Adepts. I think he still wants to go straight Hydras. It's just a safety Roach Warren, I believe. These Oracles getting great vision. Really well done. Queen's a bit slow to sandwich there, but one of the Oracles does go down. But Rogue, he's been a bit sloppy, man. His drone transfers. 7 drones go down for an Oracle, and I think HerO's happy with that. He's going to go Archon Zealot once again. Is he doing the exact same thing he did last game, guys? A cannon and a battery in the 3rd. Oh, sorry, is that a pylon? Just cannon in the 3rd. And he's just going to go for like a big 8-gate. He's just going to run Zealot Archon across the map again. Such a basic attack. But it worked out really well. Even Serral struggled with this. With Heavy Roach Queen, which should counter this the smoothest. But he's still got mobility. The Zealots can kind of run around, and if you leave a mineral line undefended, Zealots will get in there, kill 10 drones before you can react. Six gases coming down. Robo goes down on the third. He's got 5 roaches, 7 roaches out, 7 more building. Not enough to defend this just yet. Get out of there. Rogue, you gotta pull back. Rogue, you gotta pull back, bro. We need more roaches. Roach speed and +1 are seconds away. They're not quite there. Transfuse does go down. He can't afford to lose these queens, because if he loses the queens, the Void Ray is a real problem. Just trying to distract these Zealots. Things come back. Roach speed and +1 range just seconds too late in this game, making it really awkward for Rogue. But as the Roach Queen count gets together, he should push this back. If he can get the Void Ray, that would be huge. Getting that Void Ray would be so nice. Oh, the Void Ray is going to get away. Void Ray is targeting the Overseer, but it does go down. The Zealot Archon's going to have to back off. Good hold there for Rogue. As I said, though, your mobility does struggle in these scenarios. These Adepts come in, get 2 drones. They force all the drones down to the 4th. They are going to get in that natural. The drones should have just fought there. No reason to run away in that scenario, because if you block them, it's quicker for the roaches to kill them. Zealot Archon runs back in on the front. Dude, HerO once again, like I said, rearing up on his hind legs. Does lose an Archon for that one, though. Pushes a bit too far. Storm never got made. This Roach could be really scary. The Void Ray died. Honestly, he could Roach shove. But Double Immortal's about to pop. So maybe not. Grooved Spine starts, cancels. Roaches are building. Rogue's going to go all in on Mass Roach Ravager. He's on 8 gases. He could actually do... Oh, I honestly, guys, if he does the Basilisk 8 gas all in, if he puts workers on these 2 gases, resaturates these gases, which he's done, he could do the Basilisk 8 gas Ravager all in. I honestly don't think HerO can deal with that. For those who don't know, we did a video on Pig Plays just the other day about this. It's a very good build. It's a really good, because it looks like you're macroing. You've got 8 gases mining. You know, HerO's like, oh, he's droning his 4th and mining the gases there. So he's probably thinking Hive Lurkers are on the way. The Oracle gets pushed back. And now the problem is he hasn't done enough gas early on. He's not going to be able to make as many Ravages as he wants. You should be making like 1 billion Ravages here. Looks like he just lost another Overlord as well. Making a few more Ravages. He needs to be making like 20 Ravages with this. But as long as you can get that Ravager count up before Storm's ready, that's good. HerO moves out and realizes, oh crap, you're coming for me. These Roaches got to be careful though. Those Immortals are very powerful against this. He needs more Ravages, needs to be constantly morphing. Rogue doing a big Roach roll in those 4 Immortals. Not to mention the Archons, the Zealots, and the Guardian Shield coming in. The Roaches are trying to engage. Ravagers coming in from the south side, but those Immortals are doing really, really well. The Biles across this side doing nicely. A couple of the Immortal barriers do get picked off. You really need to grow this Ravager count. Roaches come in from the rear. One of those Immortals will go down, but the Oracle doing good damage as well. He didn't bring Queens to deal with the Oracle. The Oracle's adding really nice damage. Another Immortal's about to go down, though. This is good for Rogue if he can get rid of all the Immortals, but a lot of Zealots coming in. All of his Ravagers are getting popped. That was just too efficient. HerO goes out into the middle and fights him. Mano on mano. Man on man, he beats his chest. He points at the center of Old Republic and he says, let's friggin' fight. I mean, maybe not the center, but right here. Rogue runs forward. Lands a few big haymakers, but he just got clipped behind the ear and all of his Ravagers got popped. His Roaches, 53 Roaches, 5 Ravagers. I think with double Immortal rebuild, I mean, once Storm kicks in, you're dead. Once Storm kicks in, you're dead. You got to go again soon as Rogue. I don't think +2's the answer. I think you just need an insane Ravager count, but even on 8 gas. Like, look at his gas income, but he just doesn't have that many Ravagers. Because I don't think this was his plan from the start, you know? He's building a Hydra Den, building all these other things. Needs a lot more of these. Stalker for a Roach. Good trade for the Zerg player. Storm is just seconds away. I like the way he's keeping these High Templar protected. Needs 10 seconds. These guys are exposed for HerO. Good force field to buy himself a few seconds. One Immortal getting dangerously hurt there. Needs Storm. He needs that Storm, man. Okay, it's finally kicking in, but look at this Roach angle. The Ravagers going to try and pull back. They do cop a lot of Storm damage. Biles, but Storms are nice as well. Roach is up top trying to focus down the double Robo. Same time, Zealot counter runs in. 3rd base getting ransacked. 4th base will eventually get cleared of that. Hard to micro that and also deal with everything else at the same time. The Stalkers go north. They clean up these Roaches very efficiently. Looks like the Roach Queen getting overwhelmed in the 4th base. Really hard for Rogue to defend this without sending his whole army home. The Zealots are tearing up his economy. And HerO, he's now got Storm +2 and the Immortals surviving. Finally, he cleans up those units. But at what cost? 65 drones to 75. HerO is now equal in army supply with Psystorm. The Ravagers are just coming too belated, too late. And it feels like Rogue's done a lot of good things in this series, and a lot of good things is not enough. Players have not played against the Zealot pressure, Archon pressure openings enough recently, and they are clearly at a loss of how to deal with this. We are seeing HerO continually barrel through Zergs, even when they get ahead like in that first game. HerO's ability to run around with this like real bare bones Zealot Archon army and Storm is so scary. Like, you gotta understand, he delays his robos. In game 1, he never even got a robo. He just runs around with a pack of Zealot Archon and some High Templar. This one, he went double robo to counter the Roaches, which was perfect in this scenario. It's tough here for Rogue, man. And that's always the problem with Roaches against the Zealot Archon pressure. Don't get me wrong, it's hard to get Hydras in time to defend it. Remember when he first came with those units down there, it's just your Roaches are kind of slow. It's hard to defend that base and cover your other bases from Zealots or Adepts getting in at the same time. But if you go Banelings, it's really hard to deal with the Archons. If you've only got Lings, Banes, and Queens, you got to have overwhelming numbers. And if you've overdroned even a little bit, you don't have enough lava to produce enough Zergling Baneling to surround. So I went for the safety Roach Warren this time. He was thinking, hey, I've gone for an early Evo. This looks like a +1 melee build to you. Like, you saw this early on. You probably are going to do Glaive Adept to counter that. That's what HerO often does. Roaches would be good against it. But HerO's just like, screw this. I just take a third, do a bit of Oracle pressure, make some Zealot Archon, go across, do my pressure, and then go into my next step. And in this case, it was delayed Storm, faster double robo, but it absolutely smashed him. Great fight in the middle. I was thinking 8 gas could work, but in hindsight, maybe he just didn't quite have enough gas built up early enough. If he had like 12 Ravages when the fight started, I think it's a really different thing. But I think when he pulled the trigger, he kind of committed and his Ravages were still morphing. So Rogue was, I gotta get in, I gotta do some damage, he knows I'm coming. But he actually has no Ravages when the fight starts, and these guys get stuck on a creep tumor in these 2 Ravages morphing. And actually, HerO fighting here is really good. If there's bile spreading across and you're kind of kiting and pulling back, that's the way the mass Ravager army works. But this was like essentially a mass Roach all-in into Heavy Immortal, and that just doesn't go well. GG, well played. Rogue cleans up the series. HerO cleans up the series 2-0. Alright, guys, we've got ByuN on the bottom right side of the map. Shopify Rebellion. Mr. ByuN. He's going to be playing against Trigger in the top left, is the group which I really feel like has the biggest question marks. You've got Trigger, the guy who's the perpetual underdog, coming up for years here under Basilisk, but he's going up against a decade, often 15 years of top-tier pro-level RTS experience that the other players have ahead of him, right? A lot of the other players have just been at the top level so many years longer than him, and yet Trigger made his first World Championship last year. He's going to see the Engineering Bay block coming in, and he will pull 3-4 more probes, maybe? Only 2 more. Since he's got the jump on this so early, he's trying to be greedy. I think he should have pulled 4, but I think maybe he knows that because ByuN realizes he's been scouted, ByuN's thinking about not going for the eBay and just doing the regular block. Nexus, hey, Nexus is down. All right. Okay, good response by Trigger. Doesn't overpull probes. And ByuN says, well, I guess it just becomes an expand build. Just a 1-rax expand. Fair enough. It's not too bad going for an SCV scout. At least he forces a few probes off the line. Anyways, back to setting up the story, guys. So like I said, I'll cover myself off the screen here, but I just want to intro. We've got HerO and Rogue in this group as well. So it's Trigger, ByuN, HerO, Rogue. It is basically a friggin' sick group. Obviously, HerO's a beast. He's on fire right now. Rogue can beat anyone when he's switched on. He can also lose to anyone when he's not switched on. It's Rogue. He's kind of famous for winning world championships and massive tournaments and then like losing in the round of 32 in GSL the next week back in 2017, 2018. You never know what he's going to bring. ByuN is a beast and obviously a fan favorite as well, but he plays so many online cups that him and Trigger actually have hundreds of matches against each other at this point. They have such a big history where ByuN does usually come out on top, but Trigger occasionally has been able to get the better of him. So I'm really excited to cover this group, see exactly what happens in the matches, and I'm sure the players are going to bring out their most vicious cheeses. Best of 3s, you often have some really brutal, just like, I'm just going to run you over in like a 5-minute game with an all-in, with a proxy marauder. I'm going to do a 3-gate and just catch you off guard. And I think the players will be bringing out their most brutal plays. For those who don't know, this is held in China, and the grand finals will actually be held as a LAN tournament. Up to then, it's all online, hosted by the Chinese guys. But the top 2 go to Shanghai to play a big match on a stage there. Should be really cool. Battery and Robo goes down. Trigger's played no scout. Very greedy build. So 1-gate Robo. after Twilight, of course. Will be a pretty standard blink opening there. ByuN's going to go for what looks like a pretty chilled out Widowmine drop of his Reaper. You know, I don't know why I hate Reaper on this map, guys. I just feel like the Reaper can never really get in. It's so easy for them to wall off this ledge. And then the front is like just so far away from the ramp. There's no sideways access point, like ramp on the side of the natural. Oh, it's a Dark Templar drop. Trigger. Okay, this is interesting. This is making me think of Estrella versus ByuN at the World Championship last year. He tried Dark Templar builds, and ByuN happened to be kind of blind countering it multiple games. One game, I think he went like double Raven against it. One of the games, he just killed him with a 3 racks before the Dark Templar could do anything. It was really unfortunate for Estrella to go out the way he did. He clearly expected a very different style of play for ByuN, and ByuN tried something different himself, and it happened to match up really well against the Dark Templar build. He is building a safety Raven, which is great for ByuN. Doesn't mean he's not going to take damage, though. Charge is coming in behind that. No Blink, of course. I thought it was going to be Blink, but it is Dark Templar instead. Ooh! Reaper's going to survive. Does back away. Widowmine drop goes in. Sees the Dark Shrine. Trigger's going to feel his heart sink. This is not a good start for Trigger, guys. Because the Widowmine drop can deny now. Good amount of mining time. We're getting a Adept and a Probe, which is good value. Rotates the medevac. Tries to warp in Dark Templar. Cancels it. Sieges up, warps in again. You do get full refund when you cancel like that, guys. Not a big deal. He's going to go to the main where there is a Raven. These Marines don't have Stim. He can absolutely get a few SCVs if he goes into the natural, but he's got to get out. He's got to get out. Takes a little bit of damage, but nothing serious. Widowmine drop in the back, and it looks like he got 4 more probes on the natural. Sorry, I missed that shot. I just feel like this is a bit more impactful. Reaper's going to come in here. Stalkers will try to take care of that bad boy, but that will allow the Widowmine to drop a bit. Obvious there. Trigger takes out an SCV, but now there's a Viking on him. Meanwhile, Widowmine in the high ground goes in there before it's actually ready. He does save his Dark Templar, but I think that Prism will go down. Looks like he's managed to recall the Dark Templar. Prism does fall. Widowmine goes down. It looks like before it fired. No, we got 5 more probes. Never mind. What am I talking about? I'm like, this is not the 5 probes from earlier, Pig. There's 10 probes total killed. ByuN with an excellent start. He doesn't have Stim or anything going yet. That's his one weakness. So I do think ByuN, he could go push right now because his army's actually way better. But if he could just get these barracks on these tech labs, once he's got a few medevacs, he can move out with 2 medevacs. Stim and shields will kick in as he arrives. And how the hell is Trigger supposed to defend a 3rd base? He's going to have 4 Stalkers. Blink's just started. 2 Dark Templar on the left. I mean, this is a disaster. Trigger is finding himself going for a gamble, and I don't know, man. It's just, I think about those EWC games. I think about this now, and I feel like ByuN is one of these players who's quite safe against the Dark Templar in general. Who would you do a Dark Templar build against, though, guys? Like, who's the weakest to it? I think Cure sometimes, but it all depends on what build orders the Terran's going for, right? If they're skipping Reaper and doing one of these, like, really, you know, I'm going to try and do a big tank push, but then as they're pushing, the DTs run in, and they don't have enough scans to help their push either, that's usually where they really struggle. Look at that quick focus fire onto the probes. Well done. Very nice micro there. There is a battery in the natural, but not quite in the middle of the mineral line, so we could definitely kill a few from that high ground. Same time, Dark Templar runs the natural. Is going to kill a few of those SCVs. Siege tank friendly fire helps out a tiny bit. The turrets have done good damage, man. He's still got another one available. Army's roaming the middle, but I think ByuN could push, right? I really feel ByuN should have already pushed. Like I said, Stim and Shields is about to finish. I thought he'd bring his siege tanks. Where is it? Okay, there we go. There are the siege tanks. He's finally going. Another auto turret up there. Raven is up to 5 kills, man. He's back to mining his Trigger, but meanwhile over here, oh, he's just in a really awkward spot, isn't he? Tanks are going to siege. The Bio's going to stim forwards. There is not enough firepower for Protoss here. Force fields are only going to trap a few Marines, 3 of which escape. 1 Marine going down for all of his energy. Zealots have to charge forward. He's got 3 Immortals. Very good at dealing with Marauders and tanks. Not so good against Marines. Only gets 1 shot off on that siege tank. He's going to try and get in range. But with only 1 tank falling for such a big Protoss army, ByuN should be able to now finish this game off. Plenty of infantry left on the ground. And that is an easy victory after ByuN shuts down the Dark Templar build. Alright, guys. ByuN on the bottom right side of the map. Easy map 1. A smooth start to this group stage for him. Let's be real. he got the smoother match. Dodging HerO and Rogue in the first match. If he can dispatch of Trigger quickly, get himself a match against the winner of HerO Rogue. I mean, it's still going to be really hard to get out of this group, let's be real, for anyone. But the fact that HerO and Rogue, the two big bosses, have to fight each other, one of them is going to lose a life very early. It is a double elimination group stage. Winners play winners, losers play losers, all best of threes, just like the old GSL format. It's going to be interesting to see. So it looks like a gate scout for Trigger. He's also going to check in case there's an eBay block. And he goes Nexus before Cybercore. Greedy build. I love it. And it's a Marine first opening, so the Reaper's not coming, which means there's no punish for this either. That's amazing. Uh-oh. Alright, yeah, it delays it by about 4 or 5 seconds. Nothing crazy. Ah, okay, Marine into Tech Lab. ByuN wants to do his Marauder opening. Usually into 3 barracks. Sometimes he'll build a Marauder and go 3rd command center. If he was going to do that, he'd probably already have pulled 1 or 2 workers off gas, because you only need 50 gas for the 2 Marauders, 50 for the concussive shells. He's already got all that. So I think ByuN's probably going to play 3 racks, considering he's still mining gas. Chat says, a gay scout, question mark? I said safe. I mean, I think he's pretty gay, this scout. He's super happy that he survived. A lot of probes. If you see me send a probe in, I get it killed a lot of the time, but this guy's going to merrily and gaily skip home to have a good time. Recently watched the Lord of the Rings extended edition in cinemas for the 25th anniversary of the Fellowship. Fantastic film. Never watched the extended version. Really good. Loved it. There's something about whenever it's been so long since I read Lord of the Rings or anything, but he's definitely a guy who would have said gay. You know, he's like, I'm feeling very gay today. You know, back in those days, that was a pretty standard thing. Stalker's going to come forward. 2 Marauders going to catch him. Oh, that's a juicy. Oh, this is the best case scenario. And that's why normally you send the Adept, not the Stalker, across. But Trigger was like, well, I think it's just a Marine. I'm gonna go see if I can pick off some units. Now he's got to build a battery. That's a problem. The battery's not quite ready. Stalker isn't here either. I think he should start another unit right now. He's built more probes, which means he's not got another unit building. He might have to pull a few probes in. Stalker pullback is really nice. He's got the ledge there for high ground vision. Marine has already gone down, and with the battery coming up, calm defense for Trigger. ByuN got... Oh, what the hell, Trigger! Oh, he doesn't get back to the battery in time. He does at least get a Marauder kill, so it's not the worst trade, but it is a negative trade. So not the best for him. Of course, that Adept will shade back to the safety of the battery. Gets a few more hits on the Marauder. It is double reactor, guys, which is a vicious Marine timing because he's got +1 weapons and he'll queue up combat shields on this Tech Lab. He's going to have a mass of Marines. Very good for dealing with early Zealots, but it does mean the Marauder count's usually a little bit lower unless he starts another Marauder right now, which I have seen players start Marauders one at a time real early. And yes, he does do that. Cool, cool, cool. The Nexus is about to go down. Pylon on the right side of the natural. So it's 2-gate blink robo, 3 gases. He pauses probing here, does Trigger. Moves out with his prism. He's going to try and play max back style. Put on 3-gate blink pressure whilst moving into a 3rd Nexus. ByuN has got his bio there. Adept. Got to pull back quickly. Trigger. Does he react in time? Not really. Not unless he uses the prism, which he does. Well done. Actually, a single stim got used by that one Marauder. Gonna go back to the safety of the high ground is ByuN. Stalkers have got to be very cautious there. But with no medevacs out just yet, it's going to be a while until these bio units can freely stim around the map. ByuN does have the starport beginning. Really crucial that he gets that up. And it's Robo Bay. Trigger's going to play Colossus. Interesting. Stalkers blink in. Notice he only blinked 4 Stalkers to the high ground, enough that he could instantly rescue them. And I do think he should be looking for a drop into that main base. But just trying to find an opening. Blinks in again. Actually, he's going to pick off 2 Marines. Once again, doesn't take any damage. This is very efficient. The Adept there, though, unfortunately doesn't focus fire those SCVs. Now going to rotate into a drop in the main at the same time. Charge has started. He's going to go 6-gate charge. Gets himself an SCV on the depot. Gets himself 2 Marines as well. Dude, Trigger's He's not going ham. He's not like running in, clicking with his important thing or anything, but he is just trading. And until that moment, was doing it really efficiently. Got a bit excited there. That was unnecessary. Does at least bait the scan for the observer, but he's now into Colossus and Extended Thermal Lance. I think Trigger's in a good spot this game. That being said, there is still going to be an immense amount of army for ByuN. Those 3 barracks pumping this whole time is really huge. And essentially, it's all about the Colossus. Right now, there's no Colossus out. Trigger needs to chrono that bad boy. Dude, Colossus and Sentries are everything against it. He's got to chrono this again. Honestly, he should energy recharge the Sentry as well. Because if he can't get the Colossus up, just the Marine count, 29 Marines, dude. But if the Colossus wastes attacks on the Marauders, it's also really bad. Every shot counts. And he's got no units. He's got a few Zealots. Charge is not quite there. Colossus isn't there. Neither is Extended Thermal Lance. So one Colossus is out. No Extended Thermal Lance. The Zealot counterattack might be a bit too hefty. He's just got to focus on surviving. Trigger, get out of there! The Colossus just gets stimmed on. He wasn't respecting the shove. It's a 3 racks. You've got to respect this shove. You've got to build extra sentries. You've got to protect your Colossus. But he leaves it out there. Oh, no. Now the Robo goes down. Trigger. He was in a good spot, but everything is so predicated on that Colossus. You've got to realize the Terran has spent 5 minutes building nothing but Mass Marine. You need an answer to that. Guardian Shields, Force Fields, and Colossus are the answers. I honestly would have liked to see him bring the Prism home so he could pick up and juggle the Colossus and save it, because I think the micro ability with the Prism is worth so much, but ByuN just jams it, sees that Trigger's not watching. That sort of chaotic dive. Yeah, it's a risky maneuver sometimes, but against Trigger right then, right there, that was exactly the move that he needed. He's going to redrop into the 3rd base, I think. He's got more units here. Stalkers blink to the low guns. Just no damage output for Trigger. Trying to rebuild his Robo from scratch. And that's yeah, it's Game Ogre, man. Somebody call Shrek because it's Game Ogre, man. It's Game Ogre, man. It's Game Ogre. All right, guys. You got the winners match. HerO in the bottom right side. ByuN in the top left. And it's a PvT to see who gets first place in the group stage. HerO comes in as the favorite, but ByuN, a man who sometimes has some devious TVP builds, is going to go gas first, which will get scouted almost immediately by HerO, assuming he... Does he realize, I wonder? Because sometimes people are like, oh, I'm blocking your barracks. That's why your barracks is late? Because he's like, dude, I'm delaying your barracks so long. Little does he realize, ByuN only just got the money for it. Okay, now he sees the gas. HerO should realize that's a gas first now. Oh, that's an easy kill. As long as he pulls another SCV in front. Easy kill. Nice job for ByuN. ByuN a little sloppy with his SCV pool there. That's one of those moves I love to do, is pulling individual workers one at a time in front of the probe's path rather than just chasing it so you can cut it off and kill it. Or at least massively damage it and force it to back out. Oh, we just got some support there coming in from... Is that Brainless? It says Brain, but I'm not sure if it's Brainless or Brain. $200 towards Pigfest. Thank you. Let me know if that's Brainless or a different person. Either way, massive thank you, Brain, for the $200 towards the Pigfest 7 prize pool. Of course, guys, we will have a video at some point, maybe on the main channel, talking about Pigfest 7, pumping it up. But just for now, if you guys are watching on YouTube, haven't seen any of our posts yet, we'll be doing more community posts and things, letting people know it's going to be running February 19th through to March 1st. 2 weeks of top-tier StarCraft 2 action. I've just announced it at the time of recording this today. So we have Serral as our first invite to the tournament. There will be a couple qualifiers as well, so that it's not purely gated towards the same guys that are invited, but the players who happen to be performing the best and qualifying in have a chance. We actually had some really cool upsets with guys like Mana and Bunny having some really surprising results previously. Often the qualifiers, even if they do get surprising results, you know, eventually you run into a Clem or a Serral and tend to get 3-0'd or something like that, but the fact that we give a chance for some of those other players is always fun as well. ByuN, of course, has won a previous Pigfest. I don't think HerO's ever managed to win one. There was one I think he should have won against Dark, and he kind of got a bit excited. Actually, that was Ham Cup, wasn't it? That was not quite a Pigfest. I think it was just a Ham Cup. It's kind of a smaller tournament we ran one time. Ooh, Ooh, decent grenade, but not enough to stop the Stalker. I think ByuN knows he's done for. Just going to try and double back, but there is no escape. That Reaper does get taken down. Adept's at the front. It is a high ground command center. And behind it, it's got reacted Marines coming out. Once you have 3 or more Marines, you can beat an Adept pretty handily. If you fight with just 2, the Adept can pick off Marines, get out of there, regenerate its shields, and come back for more. HerO, killing the Reaper, now decides to go for the Dark Shrine. I honestly don't think he intended to do this. But because he's killed the Reaper, he's now saying, hey, why not? Your scouting is going to be severely limited, but Widowmine Drop is very good for scouting this. Reactor's very damaged. He's got to pull SCVs. ByuN's letting that reactor get dangerously low. Dangerously low. Okay, Marines are going to move forward now. He's got 6 Marines, but, oh, 2 Stalkers and an Adept, not to mention the Shade. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, he does get rid of the Adept, but, dude, he's already lost 3 Marines. He can send the Healthy Stalker. Look at that. Look at that! Gets himself another Marine there. Command Center does take damage as well. Siege tank on the way. Do we go medevac? This is looking quite good for HerO, but the Widowmine Drop could spot the Dark Shrine and make this okay. Maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Still nothing building out of the starport. He's broke right now. Widowmine Drop comes in. Marines are going to engage the Stalkers. We'll catch the Widowmine Drop, though. The Stalkers easily win this fight. HerO pulls the probes. Defuses 2 Widowmines for just a probe loss each. And look at this. What's he got? He's lost all of his Marines. The tank is taking big damage. Yes, he gets rid of a Stalker. But at what cost? This is just HerO running rampant over his opponents. He's already destroyed. And look at that. Okay, that's cute for ByuN. He's not even recharged, but he forces mining timeless. But he's already ran through Rogue, despite Rogue having a genius answer to his build order in game 1. And now this. Oh, man. The DTs are going to run in. Doesn't run up the ramp. Thought he should have just ran up the ramp straight away, but there are a few scans saved up. Raven begins. No engineering bay for him. Widowmine Drop does finally go down, but he'll lose a Stalker since he used the blink to shut down the medevac. Well worth, though, because now HerO shuts all this down. He's on 40 probes. He can take a third. His Dark Templar bait another scan and survives on 6 hit points, which is brilliant, because now he can bait another scan while the Raven is waiting to come out. And ByuN just has to pop it. He has to pop it. That feels awful. The Raven should be here by the time that next scan runs out. HerO, of course, can't resist. He's going to go in anyway. And he will maybe get a Marine or 2. Oh, he had to use another scan. Still loses 2 Marines despite that, though. ByuN is a broke boy at this point. 2nd and 3rd barracks are going to be building. 3rd Nexus finally starts for HerO. I thought he could have gone for that a fair bit earlier. He's... Okay, fine. Because he saw another scan. He was like, are you just not building a Raven? But at this point, I think we've got to stop throwing Dark Templar into the meat grinder. Charge and sentries will be made at home. He's going to even come forward. Look for a potential ambush on any move out. 4-gate charge with a 5th on the way. Not bad. And HerO's transition could best be described as clicking buttons in an order that has occurred to him in the heat of the moment. 3 gas. If he wants to go Storm, he needs a 4th. He might just play Zealot Archon, though. So long until Stim is ready. Tank in the main base. Stim does start. About 8 minutes is when ByuN's going to finally have those upgrades, but not just yet. Auto turret only buys a second at a time. The tanks are going to go down. Unupgraded Marines against Guardian Shield Zealots is like trying to fight your dad when you're 3 years old. It is a lost cause. It's not very successful. Essentially, the Marines are little ankle biters at this point. Best chance they have is maybe kicking a Zealot in the shins and making it say youch. Once you get Stim, Shields, Medevacs, +1 weapons, suddenly that changes. Right now, oh god. The Marines in the middle line, oh, they're actually holding on pretty well. I like that he focuses the tanks on the range units so he doesn't friendly fire as much. Good defense for ByuN. ByuN surviving where a lesser Terran would die. Of course, he's surviving only to die a few minutes later. There's a 3rd base up. There's Storm on the way. Forge. All of these good things. And that was the perfect time for the Charge Zealots to trade. HerO is just like, it's a hot knife through butter recently, isn't it, guys? He's so good. No fear in his PVT. And this is the problem with they're doing like a Widow Mine drop, gas first build, which delays your reactor a little bit, and then just not having a cyclone or anything to secure the low ground. Like if you don't get the early bunker on the natural, unupgraded Marines can't defend. I guess the question I would ask everyone is should he have used the Widow Mines to secure the natural? Just boosted down and dropped Widow Mine here and here or something on top of the Stalkers to secure his expansion? Because that would have done it. No amount of cheat mules will save this guy. Cheat mules? Is that what you call them? I do like it when people have like their nicknames based off of their perceptions of balance. It's like when Terran players are like, oh, you're going to use Sidestorm. Oh, look, it's the free automatic win. Look, the whole screen takes damage. I'm going to cast automatic army killer on this whole screen because I'm Protoss and I have Sidestorm. You know, it's like... Oh, look, the Zerg made Banelings. He's just going to A-move through literally every unit, even armored ones that they're not doing too good against because he's a Zerg player. He just literally A-moves Banelings. Doesn't need to micro. I kind of like love when people come up with names like that. They're my favorite. Stim's done shields in +1, but he's got so few units, and a lot of those Marines on the right side of the map. Oh, the Widow Mines get a few decent shots. The Bio tries to evacuate to the high ground. Siege Tank, actually, with the Bio doing not too bad. He's going to try and go down and focus the High Templar. Those storms do clear the army. SCV's in trouble. Where's the double drop, guys? Oh, he sent it home. You can see the Warpins at home because HerO was not expecting that either. HerO thought that drop's going to go in deep. The Archons will actually survive. 10 more workers go down. HerO has a 4th base now. Still doesn't have many upgrades, just +1 attack. He's going to build a Robo, 2 more gateways. HerO's inability to finish him off is kind of funny. Like, yeah, he's doing damage, but... I want us to wonder where the Blink Stalkers are. Yeah, there we go. Blink's finally almost finished. He's tried to avoid building Stalkers so far, but he'll need to get control of this drop in the near future. ByuN's just hanging in here, hoping that HerO's going to do that thing where he throws the game. And HerO is famous for throwing games. HerO is your friend who you do not want to leave in the casino for long. If he's having a good day in the casino, you need to pull out your rag covered in, like, what's the stuff that knocks people out? You need to have, like, one of those. You basically, you're like, he's up $10,000 and gets it. You have to put the rag over his mouth. Yeah, you need to chloroform him and drag him out of there. Because you know when he's up, he's just going to keep betting and throw all of his money away. Oh, good pickup for ByuN. Saves most of those units. You know, there's people when they get a big amount of money, they Warren Buffett it, you know? They're like, I'm going to invest in a large spread, well diversified across the market of big, reliable companies that I think have a very good price to earnings ratio. And then you have HerO who's like, I want $1 million on a lottery ticket. Immediately goes to the casino and puts it all on black. And you're like, oh, okay. There's just different mindsets, different risk appetites. Because that HerO has thrown more StarCraft matches than any other player of his level. Just getting excited and trying to pull off fun plays. ByuN goes for a counter drop over there. Ooh, these guys getting jumped on by the Zealot Storm. The Archon Zealot kind of getting blocked up by the choke points. The old Archon never would have squeezed through that hole. This is the modern Archon. They've been on a Weight Watchers diet. Oh, I do like the pickup. Drop to the high ground, drop to the low ground. But you know when your opponent's storming your natural, you are deep in the doo-doo. He's up shit creek without a paddle, as we'd say here in Australia. And he's finally going to realize his hands are elbow deep in excrement and it's time to throw in the towel. HerO just way too far ahead from that early Stalker adept pressure. All right, guys. Game 1 goes to HerO there. We're going to go on to Ruby Rock now. And ByuN not too happy with how that last game opened. It's either double gas, get the momentum, or he's going to get an early bunker on the natural to avoid that situation, because this is another map with no ramp on your natural. Stalker adept pressure could be a real problem. Big thank you, by the way, drawing to me. Thank you for the piglets. Used to be Twonky. Oh, thank you, Twonky, too, drawing to me. As well as Brain. Really appreciate both of you supporting Pigfest. Massive thanks, guys. It's cool. Oh, gas first again. Ooh, gas first eBay block opening, guys. Okay. Yeah, we used to see a lot of gas first eBay block. you're planning to go factory before command center, but you'll just end up floating a ton of minerals. So with this build, what you do is you say, well, not only do I want to go gas factory before command center, I also want to use my minerals to delay my opponent's expansion. ByuN's been doing too many eBay blocks lately. Trigger already caught him going for this. Now HerO does as well. So only pulls one extra probe, though. He does need to pull at least one more. And you want the probes going around opposite sides of the build. You got to attack him, bro. Okay. HerO ends up pulling 4 probes, which I think is correct. Cybercore almost misplaced there. He does fix that. Should be a correct wall off. Let's go. Cancel. Almost leaves it too late. Every time I engineering bay block, because I don't do it very often, I always forget to cancel it. Or I leave it to the last second and I don't realize I'm on like the Brazilian server or the central US server or something where I've got 200 ping and I like press it at the last second and I'm like, perfectly timed. And it just dies and I'm like, what? I pressed the button with plenty of time to spare. And I'm like, oh no, I'm playing with lag, with extra lag, aren't I? I forgot to check the server. It's always painful. Stalker's going to come out this time. So Stalker before Adept going to get straight across that map, try to find damage. This Marine's looking for the probe. The probe loops around and says, nah, you ain't going to stop me scouting, boy. So Command Center starts on the natural. He's going to go Hellions. Now, this is always interesting. Because Stalkers and Adepts can get overrun by reacted Hellions pretty fast, right? And these are very early. 227 starts these 2 Hellions. HerO's staying at home for now. And he's chrono boosting Warp Gate. Are you doing a 3-gate build, mate? Oh, he is. Second gate at home. The pylon here is a little bit delayed. Feels like HerO wasn't planning to do this at the start, but it's kind of just occurred to him. Oh, he's not even proxying a gateway. Okay, he's just going to do 3-gate at home. Fair enough. And a sentry. Who builds a sentry when they're playing like this? That's so odd. Thank you so much, Sublime, for the $5 towards Pigfest. So I appreciate you guys. We'll give you guys... If you guys want to support on YouTube, by the way, just go to my Twitch stream, !Pigfest or !Dono or !Tip. Basically what we do is all of my donations on my live stream for the next month until the tournament's over. It's going to be February 19th to 1st of March. We'll go towards it. If I'm live streaming at the time, it'll pop up with an alert on the stream. You guys can see the bar as well whenever I'm live as well. We're trying to embed the bar to see where the progress is up to on our website, but it's a bit hard to do right now. Hopefully we get that sorted. We might just manually update it every day or two. Oh, 4 aliens are in, nothing at home. Oh, anyone call for some barbecue? Hot damn, man. It's summertime in Australia and this is resonating with me right now, guys. Oh, felt like Christmas time right there. Delicious summer barbecue. Oh, toss a couple of dirty I mean, to be fair, not the tastiest treats. I'd rather barbecue drone than probe. Not too sure how good that tastes. Oh, lock on with the Cyclone's gonna get the sentry. He does pull a few SCVs, but I don't think he even needs to pull any more. As long as the Cyclone locks onto a Stalker. Yeah, look at that. Locks onto a Stalker. The Command Center gives vision. Ooh, probably should have moved a bit further forward. Might have been able to get that kill. The Cyclone's doing really good damage. Locks onto another Stalker there. Oh, he's going to have to pull more SCVs, though, I think. Cyclone does good damage, but this is a lot of Stalkers, man. He can't lose the Cyclone, though. Whatever happens, he cannot lose the Cyclone. 5 SCVs have gone down. The Hellions run home. I don't know if that's a good idea. I think they're much better as a counter-attack threat for diving this worker line again. He's got a tank and a Banshee almost out. Command Center back to the high ground's a good move, and HerO's really making the most of a bad situation. ByuN's F2 hurting him. Threw away 3 of his 4 Hellions. Imagine if he had 4 Hellions run in right now. He could kill this whole worker line all over again. ByuN. I make the same mistake, guys, because you don't have time to control group your units as they're popping out. You end up using F2 in panic, but you've really got to avoid doing that in these situations. It's the difference between Clem and a lot of the other Terran players. And be like, oh, what are you talking about, pig? Ree. Clem literally in 2022 spammed F2 any situation where he got panicked, and it was why he lost so many games against players that he was favored against. If they put him on the defensive, he'd make that slip up repeatedly. He fixed that a few years later and became nigh unstoppable. Tanks, Marines, Banshees, and notice no add-on in the second barracks, so he looks like he wants to actually commit and commit hard. HerO's got a Stargate building. Now, the reason he's built a Stargate, guys, is to deal with Cloaked Banshees. Phoenix are really good for that. They could also pick up siege tanks, but going Stargate this late is a garbage play in terms of like, is it going to help you defend their push? He's going to go Oracle. Oh, because he's assuming, well, this way he skips Robo. So Oracle can Revelate, but he doesn't realize this is not Cloak. He's only just started. The problem is the Marine tank push. If it moves out right now, I think he's screwed. Luckily for him, a bunker is building on the Terran side of the map. And he did go 4 gate, by the way, not just 3. He built a 4th gateway. And she's coming forward. Gonna recall the Stalkers into that main base. Oracle's out. And gotta get out of here, man. Luckily there's no blink, but I think he might have gone a bit too deep. Stalkers trying to get back into the main. Banshee's gonna force more mining time and grab one more probe. Oh, he should lose the red at point 1, but they got stuck. They got stuck. The Stalkers bugged out for a second. The Phoenix will chase them down though. And Phoenix absolutely wrecks Banshees. You know what? The Stargate's not the end of the world. Charge is still very late. Splash damage is miles away. There's no third base. His obsession with going Stargate against Banshee lately is really funny because I love it. I really like doing it at my level of play to just simplify things, deal with the Banshees so they can't just hide in the corners. I hate dealing with that, but it's so expensive to get a Stargate for these units which do not help you in a frontal fight at all. You get good vision, and you can disable one tank for 2 seconds before the Phoenix dies. Like, it's just, it's a lot of minerals and gas to put towards units that don't contribute to anything except dealing with the Banshees. Speaking of which, third Banshee comes in. Unfortunately for him, that pylon will spot him, which means he's not going to do anything. The Phoenix, the moment it comes back, will shut this down. And there we go. Shield batteries there as well. A couple of Zealots warping in. Templar Archives on the way. Third Nexus coming up. Let's check ByuN's build, guys, because he's just kind of fixed his basics behind this. He's added the tech labs for the barracks. He's going Stim. We'll be going Shields. Medevacs, pure Marine for now. And there's a very good reason for that, guys. It's because he needs Marines to deal with air units and Zealots. Marauders are kind of for tanking against Storm. Archon's Colossus a bit better. They're decent at doing damage against Stalkers, of course, but Marauders just don't do enough damage to get through the Zealot front line, whereas the Marines are much better at that. He's also swapped the factory around, building reactors now, so the medevacs and the mines can come in. But with no third command center started, ByuN will need to press forward, and I feel like the window where Storm's not done is closing. If HerO gets out of trouble and wins this game after this early game, that'd be crazy, but managed to get good damage with his 4-gate. I like the Zealot run by getting ready on the right side. Gonna wait for him to move out, ambush him with Storm while the Zealots hit the natural. Zealots need to hide though. They shouldn't be running in like this. HerO just F2ing his Zealots at the Marine Marauder. What the heck? Okay. Why did he run his Zealots at the army there? What an odd choice. ByuN has no idea HerO's on the map. HerO's just going to shove his natural. The tanks, these ones out front are really exposed. Combat shield's not quite done, guys. +1 will finish in a moment. He sees the High Templar. He's got to focus those High Templar down with the tanks. The tanks need to focus the High Templar. He gets rid of one High Templar. One of them's deep in the red. The tanks only take out 2 High Templar before 3 of those frontal tanks go down. The tank on the high ground got lifted by the Phoenix temporarily. The double drop counter could be huge, though. Oracle takes big damage. Storm does go down. Lands on a few Marines. Double drop in the main base. Recall is ready. Is he going to go for it, though? Yes, he will. Crazy dive. Bio army comes forward. Recall comes in. Bio's just going to try and stand and fight, maybe. Gets rid of a High Templar and a Stalker or 2. Bit of an awesome, messy fight. 9 probes, a few of those units. Catches a pylon randomly on the map as well. HerO's got a 4th base coming up, but he's lost a lot of his important units. Cyclone's trying to pick off that High Templar. Nice move with the Cyclone, but the battery does save the day. Storm is now available, which means the Bio's got to be careful. He's going to move to the right side. Redrop in the main. Oh, this is really good. Stay away from the High Templar. Deal damage away from those. Try to bait those Zealots out, away from the Storm support. I like the boost on the medevac so we can stutter step them away. He's got a few units coming through the rally. Drop in the main does get cleaned up, but it kills 6 probes. Not bad at all. These guys can run into this base. He's creating chaos right now as ByuN. That's his whole focus. He's going to try and do what he can. Widowmine does get a decent shot, but throwing away a few units, not for the best trades. At least he gets a Stalker with that Widowmine. These guys will be food for the Zealots. 1-1 upgrades will be kicking in shortly for Terran, whilst the +1 attack about to kick in for Protoss. HerO's got 4 bases up. His main has somehow survived. He's only down a few workers. Third base has just landed for ByuN, which I think keeps his income not just competitive, but ahead. He's still got the bio advantage on the numbers and Ghost coming in. ByuN still has an edge, but the fact that HerO is alive in this game kind of has me shook a little bit. I feel like he should have been so far behind from earlier. HerO, the master of throwing games, is also the master of resurrecting himself when things don't look so good. Phoenix disables the mine before it can fire. Great storm to zone out the army. Don't chase through that, though. Good pullback there for HerO. Dude, he's really good. Pig, do you think HerO's muscle memory is to always A-click on his opponent's army and only afterwards think about if it's a good idea or not? Yeah, probably. Oh! EMP drop gets 3 of the High Templar. That was sick. But there's still 1 High Templar with 2 storms available that he's got to be worried about. Oh, the Zealots get caught. The Zealots are going to try and distract. I think ByuN just needs to go home, chase these Zealots. And he should probably split a triple drop-off, send like 30 supply of bio down south to chase these guys, clear up any pylons on this bottom side, and the rest of his army should push north and poke this front side. He's going to just do a double drop split off. It should be enough if he stutter steps, but he'll need to stutter. I always like to overcommit to the squad that chases the Zealots down so I can kind of just stim and A-move it and don't have to do a lot of stutter step. Whereas here you can see he's kind of got to pull back a little bit. Medevac healing helping. He's going to lose a few Marines, but still a good trade for him. Gets himself a High Templar in the middle of the map. Well played. A couple of these Zealots getting caught as well. ByuN ahead almost 3,500 in the resources lost. EMPing those storms. Where is the High Templar? That's it. There's no more storms. There's no more storms. It's just Archon Zealot. The Widow Mine Unburrow is huge. Makes sure he doesn't kamikaze. HerO was going to try and kamikaze dive with the Phoenix to drag the Widow Mine friendly fire, but he's so quick on the Unburrow. Beautiful Unburrows. The Widow Mines do end up firing on the Zealots. As good as HerO's splits are, don't know if it's enough there. He can energy recharge this High Templar. It won't matter. Just gets shot down and EMP'd instantly. The Archon's getting popped. The Zealot's going down. And HerO's going to be dropping this map. ByuN is on fire today, guys. Smashed through Trigger. Ties up this series 1-1. Game 1, he kind of lost from the opening. This time, the 4 Hellion drive-by got some really good damage. I do think that F2, throwing those Hellions away, was tragic. If he kept those Hellions alive, I feel like he could have gone back in and killed many, many workers later on. But despite that, he played clean, got some good fights afterwards, and I think that drop in the main base, especially while everything else was happening, was excellent. Artosis Pylon! Ooh, the Artosis Pylon goes down, forcing HerO to engage. He will get wiped out there. HerO's going to have to tap. We're going to go to game 3. All right, guys, on to Winter Madness. HerO in the top left, ByuN in the bottom right. Don't go gas first 3 games in a row. ByuN, I know you love to do the same build over and over again. He's going to do it. Okay, maybe it's solid. Maybe it's solid. I won't hate on it, guys. But ByuN is famous for, like, finding an opening he likes and spamming the heck out of it. I mean, he's had his biggest wins spamming the same build orders repeatedly, right? 3 Racks Reaper over and over and over again. 2-1-1 over and over and over again. That's like, ByuN really loves repetition and to just get in his rhythm. I feel like ByuN, because he's such a micro-oriented, fast-paced player, likes that multitask, it's for him, it's just comfort. It's just get in the flow, get in the rhythm, and then murder his opponent. Obviously, on paper, it's not the best way to play StarCraft, dude. This is so bad for ByuN. He should not have spent so long there without pulling an extra SCV. So now he loses about 5 seconds of build time on his barracks. It's already a gas first barracks, which is already about 4 seconds delayed. He actually needs to build 1 extra SCV. But I don't think he's going to make the adjustment. You got to build 1 more SCV because this barracks is so delayed. Yeah, he started it, but he wasted 2 seconds there. He should have known ahead of time. Gas first. You're already having a bit of downtime waiting for the barracks to finish. He cancels the SCV, makes the orbital. He could have squeezed an extra SCV out, and the build order would have been much cleaner. That's a small adjustment he could have made there. Would have just made this a bit cleaner. He's going to go Reaper this time. This just in, guys. We've just found out that vanilla flavoring can come from a gland on the beaver to manufacture a vanilla flavoring, apparently. Very interesting. How exciting. I like to imagine if you harvested my, like, lymph nodes or something, it would taste like bacon, but might just be a fantasy of mine. Don't know. Maybe even a fancier product, you know, maybe like some prosciutto or something. Maybe some of that really good truffle hormone, you know, out of the Spanish acorn forests. Yum, yum. Probe's going to come back in. Going to go Tech Lab this time. Okay, he is changing it up. So I was like, two mine drop seems way too predictable. So I think this is decent. Probably goes for an early Cyclone to clear up HerO's map vision. Best way HerO could take advantage of this. Well, it depends. I was going to say is he could rush a third off just 2-gate blink, no robo. Problem is, if it's a tank and a medevac right behind, you might die to the tank push. It's probably better for HerO to just play 3-gate blink here, be safe. He stopped probing for just 2 seconds, but odd to see someone stop probing so early in the game. Blink starts up after these 3 Stalkers. So 3 Stalkers into Blink. He's going to chrono it. Medevac's on the way. Could just be a Marine Cyclone drop. ByuN does like to do that. And he's going to drop a Mule and then flip this command center down. So he should be dropping a Mule on one of these heavy patches. Maybe this one on the bottom left. Top 2 right patches would be the best though. Because he's already dropped a Mule on this patch. So that patch is going to mine out a bit quicker. Whereas these top 2 patches haven't had Mules on them yet. So they're optimal. Probe runs in, does die. Cyclone Marines are out front. Reaper's moving forwards. And it is a 3-gate blink robo as we expected. 3rd gas pylon on the back to see the incoming medevac pressure early. The most common drop angle is right here on this map, guys, because the medevac can boost in, get straight to the workers. Protoss players are well aware of that, though. HerO's wall-off doesn't look complete. I'm not sure if a Reaper can jump into that main or not, but the Stalker's now shepherding. Here we go. Lose those out of position, though. It's going to get at least 2 or 3 probes. Doesn't go any deeper. He wanted to play really safe. He doesn't know when Blink's going to be finished. Doesn't have any Stalkers. Just 2 probes and a bit of mining time. ByuN playing careful. Arguably could have got 3 or 4 more probes and saved the medevac, but I think good to see a sort of cautious mindset. He's going to start dropping mules on the natural now, spreading those across these patches. Very nice. Still no 3rd base, dude. Where's the Prism? HerO's supply blocked right now. What is he doing? Oh, HerO might be in trouble. Cyclone comes in, gets 2 more probes, almost loses the drop. That was incredibly dangerous. With no idea of where the Stalkers were on the map, that was unnecessarily risky. HerO's still not built a pylon. This is insane. Honestly, if he didn't lose those probes, he'd already be supply blocked. And now he starts supply. Like, what are you doing, HerO? HerO's not building a 3rd. Okay, now he starts one, but like, this is not just not a build order. It's just sloppy. Probe will go down to the Reaper if he commits, but no, he decides to go into the main base. Doesn't see the Templar Archives though, does he? Because it's not existing. He started when he cancelled it. Drop goes in. Uh-oh. How many probes can he get for his trouble? Good pullback on those workers. Can that Marine get the last hit? No, he can't. 5 workers go down, but that's an expensive drop to lose. Tank does not cover this whole main base. Oh, God. Oh, God. ByuN's in trouble right now. His 3rd tank's not out yet. That's exposed. That's I think HerO's going to blink on it. I don't think HerO can resist. Way too exposed. Only gets 1 tank off. That was a bad siege. Really bad siege there for ByuN. But the Observer seeing everything. Of course, ByuN did not realize the Observer was watching. Which is why he went for it. Scanning that Observer would help him a lot right now. Stalker's just going to YOLO in here. The eBay was trying to block exactly this move. That's why it's better to wall off there. So if he blinks across, at least he can't escape. Too easy of an escape there. Auto turret comes in, kills 4 probes. He's going to kill at least 3 or 4 more. Beautiful damage for the auto turret. That's 8 probes for the 2 auto turrets. But the bunker's falling. The tank count is so low. The Stalkers picking off so many units here. And HerO says, forced you to siege there. Now I'm going to blink in your main base. This is such a problem right now. ByuN losing these early tanks has now snowballed. The Stalkers are just going to run in there. SCVs are going to try and block it. Tech Lab and Reactor both going to go down. And the Warp Prism picks up a bunch of units. Yes, the Stalkers take damage. They don't die. Finally, the Observer is cleared. That's a 3-base Protoss. Yes, he's down on workers, is HerO, but with no stim making. There's no threat. He's got complete control. Marines and tanks trying to defend. Bunker does get killed immediately. These depots mightily exposed, and he commits just the 4 Stalkers. Very safe. Enough that he can pick up, get out of trouble. He does just that. No Stalkers go down. Does get 3 SCVs. Meanwhile, the auto turret goes in, and these 3 Stalkers clean it up this time around. Templar Archives in an extra gate on the way. if you know you're going to have Storm before Stim's finished or about that time, Terran is in an awful spot because the Protoss just does not have fear. HerO really should be barreling probes. Hits a few supply blocks, but he's starting to think about a 4th base as well, realizing how much control he has on this game. He's only lost 3 Stalkers. Just goes to show, guys, you might be thinking, how's he only lost 3? They're all damaged, they're not dead. You need multiple tanks covering each other. You can't lose that. There's no way. There's no way he let that get sniped. Oh, ByuN in tatters right now. HerO's tooling him, guys. He's playing with his food. Oh my gosh. No, ByuN. He should have pulled SCVs so much faster. HerO uses his wall against him, just drops on the tank, snipes it. Is that what? 1 or 2 more Stalkers, gets 3 SCVs and a tank and a bunch of Marines. Oh my gosh, ByuN. His defense of the blink has not been good this game. He should have walled off between the edge and the bunker there and had his tank in a more standard position. And his tank should have sieged further to this side, but this wall off in the main, I mean, it's a good map for 4-gate blink, 3-gate blink, don't get me wrong. Not going to argue against that. You got this ledge and this ledge, so much room to work with, but his wall off was not correct. Like, I don't think he ever should have had the wall off up here. I think the wall off either should have been further back, or if he was going to do a further wall off, the building should have come down to the right here. So he has like a tank here, a tank here, or something like that. But he had the wall off too far in front, too exposed, and he just didn't have the numbers to defend it. The Raven has killed 9 units. Might have killed like maybe a Stalker or something there. Probably just 9 probes to be fair. 19 probes have gone down in this game. Storm's on the way, and a 4th Nexus. Couple depots getting picked off. Really efficient play there. Just 1 Stalker for 2 depots. So annoying for ByuN. With a 4th base coming up, HerO's going to have so much more money. Anytime he can trade close to even with ByuN, that's really good. Like, ByuN's got Ghosts, he's got Combat Shields, Stim, +1 armor coming in. So he's not in a terrible spot. The problem for him is, like I said, no aggressive potential, no threat, nothing for his opponent to worry about. The Raven has to just wait. He's got to come in later when he's distracted. The Stalkers? Oh god, don't go in there. No way, he's going to get Combat Shields! He almost gets a medevac as well. ByuN is like, get out of my base. This stage of the game is over, you D-bag. Oh my god, okay, he does get 3 Stalkers. At least ByuN gets something there. Doesn't repair the turret. It burns down. And he starts a 4th command center. He realizes, I am just stuck in this game. Look at this. HerO's going to drop. Storms the bio. Charges on the tanks. He is styling right now. 0 respect for ByuN. Oh my gosh. Yes, he's going to storm his own observers down. Not the best size storms there, but good enough, man. HerO just mauled that nerd. And we see that Winter Madness, it's a very good back map for Blink Stalkers. But holy crudsicles, hats off to HerO. Just got in his groove and styled on ByuN. GG, well played. Alright, if you guys want to see what's going to come in the rest of this, we're going to split this into 2 videos because it's getting way too long. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, we're going to do the losers match, which I guess is Trigger versus Rogue. And the winner of that will get a final chance to progress against ByuN, who's going to be in that deciding match waiting for the winner of that. See you guys in tomorrow's one. Goodbye and good night.